Welcome today, everyone. As you know, because you clicked the link and you registered, we are here today to talk about pop-by marketing. I know as real estate agents, this is something that we hear a lot about, but at least from personal experience, I find pop-bys a little intimidating. How do we organize them? What are we dropping off? How do we physically coordinate all of that going all over? And so I think it can all depend on what our end goal is, whether it's something kind of formal or whether it's something that we're doing for just a select group of people. But regardless, it's something we're going to talk in depth about today. Coach Kat is one of our partners at the locker room. So we spend a lot of time kind of keeping an ear to the ground to see what it is that you guys are interested in learning with relation to your real estate career. And so this month, we're really focusing on marketing. And like I just mentioned, pop-by marketing is one of those ones that a lot of agents utilize, whether it's something you do very frequently or maybe just every season or so. So without further ado, Coach Kat, thank you so much for hosting this today. I know we have a lot to cover. Thanks for hopping on.
My pleasure. I'm excited to have everybody on here today. I am Coach Kat, and I am a coach and growth partner with the locker room. Just real quick here, I'm just going to actually change my view here so I can see who all we've got on here. Real quick, how many of you have done pop-bys in the past? Okay, Brian, Kate has.
Nope.
Okay, I know a lot of you
don't have cameras on.
That's what I was just going to say. I know a lot of you don't have cameras on, and if you've ever taught a class, it is so challenging to talk to all the little black boxes. So if you're in a position where you can turn your camera on, please do so that I'm not talking to the black boxes. I've prepared a lot of content for you guys today, and it'd be great to be able to see your smiles and your faces and your reactions, so I know if I'm on track or if I'm a little off track. So I appreciate you guys turning those on for me. They say how we show up here is how we show up everywhere. So if we can get those on, that'd be great. My background is actually in coaching, business consulting, and then I've owned my own digital media marketing company for years. Previous to this, I actually worked in a role where I was in charge of a massive marketing budget. And so I'm bringing some of that background to the table today to be able to help support you and be able to give you some tools that hopefully you'll be able to utilize in the future. So first off, let me just real quick here talk with you guys a little bit about what pop-bys are. How many of you are familiar with what the concept in general is?
I think so.
Okay. All right. So I'm sure you'd all agree that depending on the number of agents in our market, it can be very, very easy to begin to blend in. They say that the average person knows roughly 7 to 10 agents at a minimum. And so how do you stand out differently than the other 6 to 9 agents that they know that are not you? And so I think that pop-bys are a great way to differentiate yourself. And for those of you that are nervous about even lead generating face-to-face with people, it gives you a way to be able to open a conversation because you have a reason to do so by bringing in a pop-by. So a few things to think about when putting together a pop-by schedule is we need to first off, before even starting the pop-by schedule, is determine who is in your database and who would actually get the pop-bys, right? So are we delivering pop-bys to past clients? Are we delivering them to our core advocates and cheerleaders, people who would 100% want to send us referrals and help us grow our business? Who are those people? So I would say the very first step is to label the people that are in our database as either A, B, C, D, E, or F, right? So we're going to look at, for me, my A's, my VIPs is what I call them. These are people who've already sent me a referral. They may not have even purchased or sold a home with me ever, yet they have definitely sent me a referral in the past. So I would first go through and designate that. The reason I'm saying this is because Do you believe that everybody in your database should get the exact same budget? They
Better.
shouldn't. Yeah, and the messaging could be different depending on the level of client you are looking at or the level of contact that you have in your database. So does everybody understand the concept of A to F? For me, Fs are people who I have never met, but I have in my database. So it might be a neighborhood that I'm hoping to get into. There's a neighborhood here in my town, in my city, that I would love to be the agent of choice. And so, which is kind of fun choice, right? So my goal is to network with every single one of those or every single homeowner in that area. What I've done is I've gone into RPR. Do you guys have access to RPR?
Yes.
Okay. And then I put in a search and was able to, from there, generate all of the addresses and homeowner names. And those people are in my database as people that I've never met. I put them in as Fs. Yet these are ones that I will definitely be actively seeking to gain a relationship with in the future. Make sense?
Yes.
Now, it can be awkward to walk into that neighborhood, not know anyone, and just start knocking on doors. So I like to bring a little goodie with me. And being a mom of 7, I don't have dad jokes, but I have a ton of mom puns. Anyone's mom or Elsa's mother speaking puns? I hope so, because that's the punny moms. So anyways, so pop buys can tend to bring somewhat of a pun to whatever it is you're bringing. For instance, you could bring hand sanitizers for back to school, and they have those little mini ones. I've seen them before at Aldi's for 25 cents a piece. And so I've brought them through my neighborhood before and said, hey, if you need a hand with your real estate needs, I'm your girl. Make sense? So that's the general concept of pop buys. So step 1, we're going to go through and we're going to categorize everyone in our database. Step 2, we need to put together an annual budget. How much, if any of you are doing pop buys currently, what is your annual budget for pop buys? How do you determine that?
I mean, when I was doing them, I didn't have a budget. It was like, did I have an idea that I wanted to do? And then how many people did I have to deliver it to? And I just kind of winged it, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
So in the agent action plan, there's actually a spot for us to be able to do our budget for the year. And a budget can sound incredibly restrictive. However, I want to submit to you that a budget can be incredibly freeing, right? My husband and I remember back in the early years of our marriage, we met with an insurance guy and he wanted to try to sell us an insurance policy. And it was crazy to us because we never discussed the budget. And so when he got to the end and pitched us, which was a natural conclusion to the end of the conversation, right? We both looked at each other like, I have no idea if we can even afford that or not. Isn't that silly? Yet as business owners, don't we do the same thing often? When you have a budget, it is incredibly easy to determine whether or not you can say yes to something or no to something. So a marketing budget, a good number for that could literally be your annual sales. Take 10% of that, and that is your marketing budget. Now, within that marketing budget, you might have other things outside of pop buys. So then you would need to designate within that marketing budget how much you're willing to spend on pop buys. Make sense? Once
Yes.
we've determined the annual budget, then we can begin to determine what our monthly budget and per pop buy budget is. Is that helpful? Now I'm going to show you real quick if I can share my screen, and I can. You guys are awesome. Thank you. All right. So here is a quick worksheet that I have created, and I'm going to give everybody access to this today. My only ask is that when I give you access, that you please make a copy of this and put it somewhere else. Please don't adjust the general sheet, or else everybody will have all of your worksheet ideas, okay? So real quick, to show you how to make a copy, you would just hit File, and right here is Make a Copy. Sound good? Once you make a copy, then it will give you the ability to, if I go in here, I'm going to actually give you access to this entire folder. But let's say this is an item right here that I want to now move from the folder I'm giving you over to yours. So you take that, make a copy. So I'm just going to make a copy of this one in particular. So there is that one. It's the copy of it. And I'm just going to hit move to, and you can move it out of the shared drive with you and into your own drive in Google. Okay. They move here just so it's out of there. Okay. That way there's not duplicates in what you're trying to do there, guys. All right. So this sheet that I'm sharing with you is in the worksheets and templates. Okay. There's a lot of really good information and stuff here to be able to look at. All right. So I'm going to head back over to that worksheet. This will give you the ability to go in and say, okay, based on my budget, maybe I'm going to do 3 pop buys per year, or maybe I'm going to do 12 pop buys per year. Maybe this is one of your main ways that you're going to lead generate, or main ways that you're going to retain, reward, and ask for referrals from your current database, right? So when putting together a calendar, I look at a few different things. I look at what is the goal for my pop buys. So if I'm going to spend, let's say, $1,000 on pop buys this year, then I need to know that if it doesn't yield me at least a 4 times return, then it's not worth my time, money, or energy. So you should expect to get at least 1 closing out of this. That I would say is probably a bare minimum goal, but then you should also have a stretch goal too, to maybe potentially have 4 to 5 closings from this. Make sense? Okay. Once we've set that goal, then we can begin to think about either the things that we're passionate about and or the holidays and how we can tie these things in, right? So I'm going to give you some examples real quick before we fill in our sheet of some pop buys that I've either seen that have been effective. Please disregard brokerage names, agent names, things like that on there. These are just ones that I've accumulated over the years. So if we go back into here and go to pop buys, this is a good Christmas one that I've seen in the past. It's a wrap, or wrapping up the year, providing some Christmas wrapping paper with a little card on there. I've got the buzz on today's real estate market. If you go on Amazon, you can buy these cute little honey jars and wooden honey dowels. They're pretty inexpensive. I think they came out to like 50 cents-ish per jar. Here's let's see, it says, what is love? And then it's got little melts to be able to put into this cute little tray for Valentine's Day. I'm a sucker for your referrals. Pretty inexpensive little guy right there, but kind of a cute and fun way to do it. At Halloween, I've had my agents do a reverse trick or treat. So what I mean by a reverse trick or treat is you package up little candies and you take them out with your little cards like this. And usually I have a card that's made up similar to what I'm giving out. So if it's ring pops, I put If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. Call me for your real estate needs. If it's a Snickers, I usually do don't snicker, but I'd love to be your realtor. And instead of handing them out on trick or treat night, I go 3 days in advance and I door knock. And I say, hey there, it's trick or treat, but instead of asking for candy, I'm here to deliver some. Again, a great way to break into a neighborhood that you're not familiar with. Some avocados and avocado mix, which is kind of fun. Do you know someone looking for a real estate agent? I would love to give them a hand. So some hand sanitizer, like I'd mentioned before. These are great for summertime, especially if you work with clients who have kiddos. We're here to keep you cool in this hot market. And then it's got a list of all the firework displays where they'll be so that they can check them out with their family. One that I've done that I didn't take a picture of, but I always buy, I think I got them off Amazon last year, but they're the 3D looking glasses. They're just paper and they make kaleidoscopes out of the fireworks. So I put those in an envelope and I mail them off to all my families. So if I know that they've got 3 kids, I put, if it's husband, wife, 3 kids, I put 5 in an envelope and send it off. And I say to make your 4th of July special, or 4th of July a little bit more special and sparkly. So little things like that. Okay, so these ladies are getting ready to do an Easter egg hunt. Every year, I actually do an Easter egg hunt in my neighborhood. And I don't do a regular Easter egg hunt. I do a sunset one. So it's on like a Friday evening at dusk. And I buy little snappy things that go inside the eggs. They're the little glow lights. And then I fill them with candy and those snap lights. And so then I go ahead and put them all out at like 6 p.m. And then when it hits dusk, all the kids go out and they go search for the eggs. It's kind of fun. But it's a little different than the normal. And then the year that COVID hit, I ended up doing it in everybody's individual yards so that they weren't all congregating together. And then I put little signs in everybody's yards that wanted to participate that said, I've been egged by my favorite realtor, or we've been egged by our favorite realtor. It's kind of cute. My first class service will blow you away. And it was just a bunch of little bubble gum. This person buys a bunch of flashlights. She gets them on Amazon and spends less than $1 a piece. And it says, feeling in the dark about the market, let me light the way. Where do I buy stuff? Sometimes I go to Hobby Lobby, and after the season, they'll have stuff for 75% off. So I'll quite often buy things there, or even the dollar store or Amazon, as I've kind of mentioned. I couldn't do what I do without you. You are the heart of my business. Ready for a new nest? Kind of a fun Easter one. So each year I have a deck of cards printed, or multiple decks of cards printed, and I give them out to my bowling opponents on our league. I give them each one, and it says, does your place feel like a full house? It's just a fun way to promote my business and help everybody remember that I'm a realtor. And most people, when they bowl, they like to play bowling poker. So it's kind of a fun little reminder. I found these little back scratchers at Walmart one day. So sometimes you're just out and you see something, you're like, okay, that's going on next year's thing. They were 33 cents on crazy sale after Christmas. And so I bought them and I thought, okay, at some point I'm going to do one that says, I've got your back. Seemed like a fun thing. So if you ever see something that's on sale and you're not sure, just shoot me a message and I'm happy to share with you an idea around that. For those of us that like to work with downsizers, I've gone to community centers in elderly communities and asked them, hey, do you host a local bingo night? I'd like to supply daubers. And then I pop my thing on there that says, hey, if you're looking for a realtor, bingo, you found me. I think it's kind of cute. These cute little spoons, I have a link if anybody needs them, but I thought they were really cute for like a Valentine's idea. You've been egged. One of my agents, her and her kids love making jam. She's a homeschool mom and wanted to work with other homeschool moms. And so she wanted to find a way to differentiate herself in her own neighborhood. It was interesting to me. She said, well, this agent said he sends out postcards to our neighborhood and it says, I've sold 7 houses in this neighborhood. So how do I do the same thing? And I was like, why would you want to? Right? Why wouldn't you want to set yourself apart differently than him? And she's like, oh, never thought of that. So she does, she made these cute little things that say real estate is my jam. All right, don't rely on luck to find your dream home. Give me a call and then you insert a lotto ticket. I asked my husband the other day, I said, do they still sell $1 lotto tickets? I hope so, right? They do. This one here is a Super Bowl bingo. Thought that's kind of fun. I did put a picture of the closer bingo card in there. This one here is, do you know any peeps who are looking for a realtor? Thought that was really fun. Super compact and easy. How many people on the call are dog people? Yeah, mine is really cute. And at some point on a call in the future, you may even hear him in the background whining because he wants to go play in the sunshine and dig holes in the neighbor's yard. Bad dog. But what about little doggy poo bags? The little holders with your logo on them. Super duper cute. Right. This one I thought was really cost effective. It says, I wish I was your realtor. Super fun. And then they just threw some Hershey Kisses in there. Me personally, I would probably get the almond ones because they have a gold wrapper. Just thinking out loud. But hand warmers, don't get left in the cold. So I can let you guys kind of shift through these, but there's Valentine's ones, there's all kinds of them. I do want to highlight this one real quick. When my husband and I moved into our new neighborhood, we built this really cool structure in the backyard. It's actually a big fire pit with an octagon thing and swings that hang from it. I don't know if you've ever seen any of those on Pinterest or not, but so we made that. And then we went through the neighborhood and we handed out little s'more kits that said, it had a little bit about our family and said, we'd love to get to know you some more. And so it had an invitation for a little s'more party that we were having at our house. And they were to bring their own little s'more kit. I'm trying to think if there's any other ones that I thought were super noteworthy, but I think they kind of all are. So feel free to, like I said, shift through here. One thing that I thought was kind of cool is this one here. They were giving out pumpkins in exchange for a non-perishable food item. So linking what you're giving away to a charity or something that you're trying to accomplish, I think is really cool too. I've actually done pop buys, but without, the pop buy. So what I did was I did a food drive. It was post-COVID and our local food bank was pretty bare. They had been giving, and no one was replenishing, and they needed it. So we donate regularly to that food bank. in our town, because I know how much they give back to the community. So we went out, I went to the local grocery store and I asked them for paper bags, and they were happy to donate. So they gave me tons and tons of stacks of paper bags. And then I printed off a sheet that said, you know, Katrina with blah, blah, blah real estate is partnering with Love Inc. And Family Fair, which they're the ones that donated all the bags for me, to be able to replenish our local food pantry. I will be back on X date. So I gave them 2 weeks to collect these bags. You don't need to be home. But if you're planning to leave bags out, please text me at this number so that I can make sure I have enough trucks and manpower to pick all of the food up that day.
Pokazałam się. Też masz meeting? Pokazałam się.
So what was awesome about that is I would walk up to a door and knock, and they're like, oh, no, I don't need anything. And I'm like, no, I'm actually not here to give anything. I was hoping you could help me. I'm partnering with Love Inc., the local food bank, and we're trying to replenish their supplies of food to be able to redistribute back out into our community. I don't know if you have any non-perishables that you'd be open to donating. Oh, I don't have anything right now. I mean, I'd have to look. Absolutely. In fact, I'm not here to collect today. I brought these paper bags and I figured I would leave however many you like with you, and I'll be back in 2 weeks. You don't need to be home. You simply leave the paper bags on the porch, and myself and all my volunteers will be back to pick them all up. All I ask is that you text me to let me know how many bags you'll have out so I can make sure we have enough trucks and manpower. So I just basically say the same thing that's on the sheet. And then I've asked Love Inc., what are the top 10 things that your food bank needs right now? And they say peanut butter, usually pasta sauce, things like that are huge. And so I say, here's the top 10 needs. However, they'll take anything that you have. How many bags would you like? I don't say, would you like to participate? I say, how many bags would you like? And often they say 2, which is awesome. Now, when they text me to say, hey, I'll have 2 bags out on such and such day, I say, great. 2 things. Number 1, save my number in your phone as Realtor Cat. That way, if anything pops up, you know how and where to find me. And number 2, what's your address? So I can make sure I coordinate that well. And then I now update their phone number in my database. And then I can send them a quick text in the morning that says, you know, or the day before, I usually say, by that point, I've pulled together a route. And I say, our estimated pickup time for tomorrow for your residents is about 10 a.m. Again, you do not need to be home or present. My goal is not to come back and try to hound you yet. If you could please have your items out on the porch by that time. Thanks again for participating. And then after the event, I always send out a thank you card with my business card and things like that in it. Thoughts around that?
I put it in the chat, but I really love that you're getting their phone number.
Yeah, I think it's so helpful, right? All right. So tying it to something that you're passionate about, even maybe a charity or something of that nature, can be really helpful. So now that we've got a few ideas, let's go back and take a look at our annual pop by planner. So looking at the month of January, I might think, yeah, but how would I know even what to put in there? I'm not even sure. So let's brainstorm a little bit, guys. What holidays happen in January?
MLK Day, Day of Service. And that could again tie into your, you know, collecting food, you know, donations of non-perishable items.
Mm-hmm. Out with the old, in with the new.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep, time to purge.
That's a
As
great
you're
one.
spring cleaning, I'd love to swing by or organizing your home. I'd love to swing by and pick up anything that you're discarding. What else? What's everyone's mindset in January? So we kind of tied it in a little bit there.
Hope,
Yeah.
possibilities.
Hope, possibilities, goals, right?
Mhm.
Yep. So maybe we can put together something around that. This is where I kind of use this sheet as a little bit of a brainstormer, right? Let's move into February. What do we have for February? Brian showing us his heart.
Yeah, Valentine's.
Valentine's, yep. What else is in February?
Black History Month.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Megan in the chat said Groundhog Day.
Yeah, Groundhog Day, absolutely.
That would be a fun one. I don't know what it would be exactly, but that seems like you could do something fun.
So this is not an attractive calendar. So do not think I'm saying go to this website because it's beautiful. It is not beautiful, but it is effective. And I think it can be helpful. So let's just pull up the month of February and you'll see they actually have monthly holidays. So things that are for the entire month, like Beat the Heat Month. That seems really weird because in Michigan, it is not hot. So I don't know where they came up with that, but maybe other parts of the world. Spunky Old Broads. Okay, maybe that fits your demographic. That's kind of fun. Then they have weekly holidays. And then down here is where I really like, they have daily holidays. So I often will scan through this and see if anything ties in with kind of my identity as a realtor, who I am, who I show up as. Does it resonate with my avatar, who it is that my client is and what they're passionate about? So I like looking at some of these, like you had mentioned, here's, there's Sled Dog Day, there's National Sweater Day, like there's some funky stuff, right? But you might find in here National Cookie Day. And so that could be an opportunity to tie in, especially if you love cookies, something like that. Okay. One that I saw an agent do was there was a children's book day, and he was really, really passionate. His wife is a Montessori teacher, and he's really passionate about kids learning to read. And so he did a book drive. I thought that was really a cool idea, as again, more of a reverse pop by, if that makes sense. All right, so just another, again, idea or concept there. What about March? What are your big things in March?
St. Patty's
St.
Day.
Patty's Day.
Yeah.
St. Patty's Day, yeah. My daughter is born on the 18th, and every year for her birthday, we do all these fun St. Patty's Day things.
Daylight savings as well, don't we? Kind of happens.
Yep.
And not sure how to tie that in, but I'm sure there's something.
Yep, we're springing ahead. And the first
Mhm.
day of spring, I think, is in March too, March 20th or something like that.
Right, first day of spring.
Mm-hmm. When's Mardi Gras?
February, March, it all depends, I think. It kind of moves. And
Yep,
then
kind of
kick
somewhere in
into
there
Lent.
too. Yep. So that can be another thing. Often I start writing these things on here just as like memory joggers, kind of like ideas or ways that I could do it. April, what's in April?
Easter.
Mhm.
Easter, yep. I always think too, April showers bring May flowers, right? Maybe not a day specifically, but it's a saying. What about May?
Mother's Day, Memorial Day.
Mm-hmm.
um,
June? Father's Day,
Flag
Off-
Day,
Flag Day, graduations,
graduations, yes.
school's out for the summer, right? July,
The 4th.
the 4th of July, right? Summertime barbecues. It's hot. So some theme there might just be it's hot, right? People are traveling. This can also help you to determine like what's important to these people at this time too. So as you're putting together your communication campaigns too, you can be thinking, okay, maybe in July, like that one realtor did, I want to post or I want to have a list of all of the fireworks shows and where they'll be, that kind of thing, right? I also think of that's when all the bugs come out. There's a cute one in there, a bug repellent. Thought that was kind of fun. You'll, as you wander through them, you'll see, and you can kind of start to put these things together. What's August?
Back to school.
Back to school. Yep. So could you do a backpack drive? Absolutely. Could you do the little hand sanitizers? Absolutely. Could we do pop buys at the kids' school for all the teachers and the volunteers? There's actually some examples of back to school pop buys. What else is in August? I'd have to look. Oh, going backwards, I think April is Fair Housing Month too. Good to know, right? All right, October or September, October, you guys are getting the general idea, right? So Halloween, November's Thanksgiving, October or December is Christmas, right? So from here, once I've determined, okay, here are the holidays that there are, and I maybe go through and kind of look through some of these pop buys and go, oh, okay, that's cute. I think I might do this for April right here. The have your peeps call my peeps, something like that, right? Or maybe I go to the dollar store and I see something really fun and that I could easily pull together there, right? Trying to find. Anyways, so you finally decide that for the month of April, we're going to do X, right? So we'll pull up our April one and we say, okay, what is the promotion? So I'm going to put in there what it is. What is the goal for this promotion? My goal would be to get maybe a referral, maybe it would be to get a client, right? So it can help you determine how you're going to design your marketing piece. Make sense? Execution date. When am I going to deploy this? I don't know about you guys, but do holidays sneak up on you every year? When my kids were especially really little, I used to think, you know, Christmas is the same time every year. How does it surprise me every year? It doesn't seem possible, right? But often we'll show up like, I was just looking, because it's in my calendar, which is nice, but I have bowling, my bowling league this Saturday. And then next week is actually St. Patty's Day. So this week is when I need to deploy my bowling St. Patty's Day pop by. And so that's why I asked my husband, can I still get lotto tickets for $1? He's like, yes. So I was going to buy a lotto ticket for every table. It's going to cost me less than $30 because we have 30 teams, 28 teams actually. And then it'll cost me a little bit to print the little sheets to go with it. But something to the effect of like, don't tempt or don't, let's see. Oh, it's time to get lucky and choose me as your realtor. So something to consider there, right? Who are the recipients? For me, it would be my bowling people, right? Another month it might be my neighborhood. Another month it might be my VIPs. What is the budget for this item? So if I look at the lotto ticket thing for bowling, it literally would be roughly $50 by the time I put in all my printing. It's not so bad, right? What's nice about a smaller budget on that one is I can technically then allocate a larger budget to another month, to something that's maybe a little bit bigger. My VIPs, I spend more money on them than I do my bowling friends. Make sense? Although this year my bowling friends are yielding a very high return. It's been crazy. What are the supplies I need, right? So I need 28 lotto tickets, right? I need my marketing materials printed off. What is the number that I need? I need 28 of them, right? So I'm automatically thinking of what I want to do there. Since this one's actually a less cost, I asked my husband if it was cool if I also spread it out to the other bowling league, the people we don't bowl with. We're called the Samuel Adams Bowling League, but the one next to us is the Rolling Swingers. I don't normally talk to them because the name just makes me a little nervous, but I figured I could give them some lotto tickets and they think it's fun. All right, so cost of each pop by, it's roughly going to cost me about $1.30, $1.65 with printing. It's not so bad, right? Marketing needed, I need the little print offs. Now to do the print offs, I go to Canva. And I just design something there. And then I send it to my local printer and have it printed up.
Now, in case anybody's panicking about designing something there, did you create that from scratch or did you search and find a template?
I found a template and I just looked for a social media template, to be fair, but they have door hanger templates. They have everything in Canva. I think I spend $15 a month for Canva. You can pay annually too, but I just paid monthly when I was first getting started in real estate, and I don't think I ever changed it. But honestly, it's like the best thing going. Also, you can go on Etsy, pay somebody $6 and they'll give you a template for Canva that you can just stick in and change your name, put your logo in and be done. So if that's not your jam, pay the $6. Genuinely, it's way worth it.
Yeah, we pay for the premium Canva here. It's of all the things that real estate agents will spend monthly subscriptions on, that is one. And we pay it annually. I think it's like $100 or $120 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the one app every single agent should have, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, so like I was kind of mentioning, you can get those if you go on Etsy, pay $6 or $8 or whatever, and they'll give you the download or the link to Canva to make the changes to it. It's super great. And then vendor partners needed. So maybe I'm going to work with a vendor, like I mentioned, the one that I was sharing with you guys as far as working with I didn't want to buy a bunch of grocery bags. I looked it up on Amazon and I was like, these are expensive. I don't want to spend this money. So I worked with Family Fare and they got to have their name out there for doing something good in the community. One that I didn't mention that I thought was really kind of cool was, let me see if I can find it real quick here. Here we go. So this lady here offers to give people the garage sale supplies. Cool idea, right? Now, you can do like garage sale signs like this, but a good friend of mine, I want to say he's out in Arizona. He doesn't do them just the standard stock ones. He actually has them made up with his logo on them. Much smarter. And then he just went to Sam's Club or someplace and bought like 20 of these tables, but the ones that actually fold down into like nothingness. And then he went online and got just a stupid price on these little sticky things, or the price stickers. And he owns 10 of these little cash boxes. But what he does is he checks them out and people can borrow them to do their yard sales. So smart, right? Could you imagine? I mean, I every single time I've ever done a yard sale, I always have to ask a friend if I can borrow their tables. And sometimes I get started and I go, it's not even worth it. So wouldn't it be smart to come around and say, hey, just so you're aware, I have all this stuff and I know it doesn't make sense to buy it every year. So I just keep it all in my shed in the back of behind my house. So if you ever want to borrow it, just let me know, because as weekends start booking up, this is a thing that happens, right? Any questions? What are your questions, guys?
This is totally random, but talking about getting them printed, and that one being like $50, how much do you feel like you spend on printing? Because I do think that it's worth getting it professionally printed, so it's on thicker paper, but I know sometimes they have higher minimums and printing can add up quickly. So what are kind of your experiences with that, or anything to weigh in on there?
Yeah, I always get it professionally printed. Canva, you can even have it printed through Canva. But I like using local providers if I can. And I want to say that it's been a hot minute. The last time I had it professionally printed, I think it was 65 cents, 65 to 85 cents per color sheet. What's nice about pop buys is they're usually small. So I can get often 4 to 6 of them all on a single sheet, which is super duper helpful. And that really helps to, I'm gonna grab that. That really helps to be able to keep my costs down.
And just for choice agents, I mean, if you can print cardstock at the office and it's only 25 cents for a color sheet, just using the bypass tray. So if you want to go that route to try to cut down your cost, just know you can do that.
Well, hot dog. I'm gonna.
So yeah, if you want to just drive down next time you need to print, just
totally gonna drive down and do that.
Yeah.
Especially because I got those pop buys to do with my bowling team and the rolling swingers this weekend. So now once you've gone ahead and put I put the link to the entire drive in there, and I'll probably continue uploading more images as I go. It's kind of a working folder. I'm always finding ideas for pop buys and I stick them in that folder. So you might see stuff now that's in there and then come back 6 months from now and be like, oh, she added more stuff. Yes, I did.
It does look like when you click on it, you have to request access. So you start getting some notifications.
That's so weird. Okay, let me click on it again. Anyone with the link. Good call. There you go.
Thank you.
Yep, my bad. So now you can try that again. One last thing. So once I put this together, I figure out what I need to order, especially if I need to order it, right? And then I create like a little tote. I keep them in my basement and it has all my supplies for that month. And then I start putting it on my calendar. So if for the pop buys for February, by January 10th, I've already kind of pulled out my February ones. I've sent what I need to send to the printer, or I've already sent it at the beginning of the year. I like to just take a day when I'm feeling creative and I just do all of my pop by cards for the entire year. And so I send them all in one swift motion, and then I just put them in their box so that all I have to do is take them out, staple or attach or whatever it is that I need to do. But then I have them all in their own little Rubbermaid container for the year. Just keeps it neat and organized instead of having 7,000 ring pops inside my desk. That gets a bit crazy. What questions do you have? Or what's one that you saw today that you're going to be like, okay, that's it, I'm doing it.
Personally, I really love that's a wrap Christmas one, like the wrapping paper. I think that's really easy.
Super easy.
And I like the idea of putting everything in boxes and buying it out of season, but keeping it organized so you can actually plan it. I'm a big advocate for doing things in bulk and when you feel like it. And it's a lot less daunting down the road.
Definitely. Well, and think about it too. So when I went to buy wrapping paper this year, it was expensive. I was like, holy mackerel, right? But post-season, I got stupid good deals on wrapping paper for next year. So if you can think ahead and have a plan, then it definitely cuts the cost of everything down tremendously. What else?
I like the pumpkin and collecting food for the food bank. I'm Kate, we're gonna have to start working on that idea for this fall. I think that's a cool one.
And I mean, we say it all the time in other classes too, but people love to be asked to help. And yeah, puts it back on them, starts a conversation, makes people feel useful.
Absolutely. There's two that I can think of right away that are super low cost. So one was we do sidewalk chalk and I buy it in bulk and then I just put it in Ziploc baggies. And I distribute it to all the houses in our neighborhood or in a neighborhood. And I put a little paper on there that says we're going to come back on Saturday at noon and we're going to be judging the best sidewalk drawings. Kids love that. And then I say, parents, please take a picture and then use this hashtag and tag our real estate company on Facebook. And parents love it. They love it. So it's a really cheap, inexpensive one that can be done. Another one that's really helpful too is I've done coloring sheets. So you could do just a coloring sheet that you find online of the Easter Bunny, have kids color it, and then have a vendor donate a couple of gift cards to whatever kid place is in your area. Like for me, it's always the trampoline park. They like the trampoline park here in Michigan because it's snowing, I feel like 9 of the 12 months here. So trampoline park is a safe bet. But I get usually 3 cards donated by vendors for $25 a piece. And kids are like coloring away. But I mean, that's so inexpensive. You don't even have to print them necessarily. You could almost email them to your entire database. Just a thought. Any other questions, guys, or things that you're going to adopt?
Lots of great ideas. I know I would like to do it at least on a quarterly basis. I don't know if I would be able to do it on a monthly basis, but I think quarterly is reasonable and you can really have fun with it. And you could probably hit more than one neighborhood doing this. You know, just obviously you just got to schedule it out on your calendar, but yeah, thank you. Good stuff.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. And I will say it does get a little addicting. So I just did this with one of my clients up north, and she said, well, I'm just going to start off with 3 my first year. I don't want to do any more than that. So her first one was 2 weekends ago, and it was so cool because this is the missing piece in their business. A lot of her past clients, she never talks to again, unless she sees them in the grocery store or something like that. So this gave her an opportunity to go back through all of her past clients in her top sphere and be face to face with them. It was amazing. And so she was like, okay, this is it. This right here is the best thing ever. So we've now scheduled 6 more for the year, because it just was so helpful. And all these people were like, oh my gosh, actually, you know what? My cousin's looking at buying. And so it just opened up lots of conversations for referrals. This is the exact same couple that when I went through 5 years into the business, they should be seeing at least a 16.5% yield, a rate of return out of their database, right? So out of every 100 people, they should have at least 16.5 transactions in their database, either from referrals or the actual people in their database being in their 3rd year, if not higher. However, they're at 2.5%. Friends, a new agent should be at 5%. So what it means is they weren't dancing with the ones they brought. They're not loving their database well. And that shows. It'll show in your ROI, it'll show in your numbers, it'll show everywhere. And we have to remember that emotions tell us one story, but numbers tell us a very different story. Make sense? Awesome. Well, I'm excited to see your pop buys. I am going to, well, if you go into that link that I shared with you, you'll see that that's my email address. So when you decide to do a pop buy, send me a picture of it and I'll add it to our drive and others can take a look at it and think it's pretty cool. All right. Have a great day and I will see you guys another day.
Thank
All
you
right,
so
thank
much
you
for
very much.
that,
Thank
My
you.
pleasure.
Goodbye.
always. Thanks for hopping on, everyone. Nice to see your faces.